Right, lads. Let's have a conversation, man. Let's have a conversation. Florian Wirtz. I was a massive fan. I'm still am a massive fan. A big fan of Florian Wirtz. Big fan of his talent. Big fan of his ability. Big fan of him as a player. But unfortunately, it's not looking too good at the moment. Now, I am not writing him off. Now, I am not changing my opinions on him. But I want to have an honest conversation because the big thing that concerns me about Florian Wirtz, yeah, is that the lack of confidence he has in himself to do what he was doing at Leverkusen, the belief, and obviously I know the league is different. Obviously the Bundesliga is different to the Prem, but from an individual standpoint, I needed to see a bit more. I needed to see more, in my humble opinion. But we're gonna dissect this properly. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and neutrals that supports any clubs. I want you to get your opinions on Florian Wirtz as a whole, like an honest assessment of his season, an honest assessment of him as a player. So let's get into this. So obviously he was brought to Liverpool from Bayern Leverkusen for I think 100 million pound, add-ons included, rising to 116, which is the second most in terms of signing a player in the Premier League era. And immediately expectations was on his head. Immediately the pressure was on him because of the price tag and whatnot. People expected big things from him. We expected big things from him. And the way this season's planned out, from the numbers point of view, it hasn't been promising. 4 goals, 3 assists in 29 matches. 25 of them were starts. So obviously from a statistic point of view, it hasn't been great. In fact, it's been below average. But performances is where people can get on board, invest stocks in. You understand? You can invest stocks in players in terms of their performances, and if you want to invest them in GAs, then so be it. But from a individual point of view, I think he hasn't been consistent like that. Now, there's reasons behind it in terms of systems, the roles that he's been tasked to do, and obviously the managerial situation, the way he's been profiled hasn't been the greatest, in my humble opinion. You're having Florian Wirtz pick up the ball in deep positions because we find it very hard to progress the ball from back to front. We need Florian Wirtz around the final third, right the edge of the box, in between them pockets, so he can do damage. But there's been situations throughout the season when he has had opportunities to do that in their pockets and he hasn't made the most out of it. And obviously at Bayern Leverkusen, I didn't see none of that. All the things, because what I saw in Bayern Leverkusen, Florian Wirtz, what I saw is a special player. What I saw is a special talent. What I saw was a maverick, a playmaker, someone that's willing to get on the ball and win inside the game and change games when things was getting tough. I saw a player that will literally decide games and take games by the scruff of its neck. That's the player that I saw. But unfortunately, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that this season. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, last season, 10 goals, 12 assists in 31 games. Now, obviously, the stats backs it up and the performances backs it up. Especially in the Champions League, he was smashing some serious works in the Champions League for Bayer Leverkusen. Some serious work, in my opinion. You understand? Obviously, he got 6 goals and 1 assist. He was picking up Man of the Matches awards for fun. I was at the game when we beat Bayern Leverkusen 4-0, and Florian Wirtz was Dortmund's best player, in my humble opinion. He was trying to make things happen for them. So I knew the talent was there, and when I saw him live, that's when I was like, cool. He's definitely a bad boy. He's definitely a bad boy. And from what I saw around his time in Bayern Leverkusen, especially his final 2 seasons there, was special. Absolutely special. I'm trying to get the stats from this, the pinnacle of Florian Wirtz's season. 11 goals, 11 assists as Bayern Leverkusen went the whole season unbeaten, and boy oh boy, he was making stuff happen. He won Bundesliga Player of the Year. I think he's a 2-time Bundesliga Player of the Year, because I know Harry Kane won Player of the Season in his last season at Leverkusen, but I think Player of the Year went to Flo. So yeah, man, he was highly regarded, not just in the Bundesliga, but also in world football, especially German football. Hence why Bayern Munich really wanted to get him. And I have a feeling if he was at Bayern Munich this season, it would have went crazy. But yeah, some of the stuff that I'm seeing, these are the stats that he was putting up in his final 2 seasons. And the reason why I'm putting up these stats here is because obviously the talent that he showed that season was undeniable. The talent that he showed at Leverkusen was undeniable, innit? He had confidence, he had belief, he believed in himself that he was able to change games and make his team tick. I haven't seen that with Liverpool. I haven't seen that yet. And obviously, he had Xabi Alonso as manager that put his arm around him and made sure that this was his team, innit? At Liverpool, it's not really like that, innit? Like, he's not really the main player at Liverpool. And the confidence is not there. When he has chances to shoot, he's picking the pass. And when he's picking the pass is not executed. He has chances to shoot, he doesn't take the shots. When he's at Germany in his last international break, he picked up the ball and whipped it into the far corner. On God, he's not doing that for Liverpool. On God, he hasn't been doing that for Liverpool this season, in my humble opinion. The one time I said to myself, that is the Bayern Leverkusen Florian Wirtz properly, is the one where he literally decided the game against Newcastle with Ekatike. Got in a goal, got an assist, and he was magical on that day. And obviously, it's been other games where he has performed, but that was the game when I said that was Bundesliga Florian Wirtz, innit? And we haven't seen too much of that. Again, the system, the tactics plays its part, but from an individual standpoint, there's been games where the team is in disarray, the system's in disarray, and no one's really performing, apart from Szoboszlai and Ekatike. They showed individual brilliance this season. Why don't you show some sort of individual brilliance? And it's like he's too afraid to do that. He's being nice on the ball, trying to keep things simple, but then when he's trying to take risks, the risks are not coming off, and he's not taking calculated risk. Not taking calculated risk. And that's my frustration, isn't it? That he doesn't believe in his ability, he doesn't believe in his talent, because he's too talented to be playing the way he's playing, and he's way too talented to be moving how he's moving. So obviously, my big hope for Florian Wirtz next season is for him to have confidence and belief in himself. Because if Florian Wirtz with confidence and belief, he's a completely different player to what we're seeing this season. Completely different player. Is it under this manager? I don't think you will see that under this manager. But at the same time, I need some individual quality to be shown, man. I need some individual quality to be shown. And obviously in the Champions League against PSG, left a lot to be desired. Left a lot to be desired, man. So yeah, man, arrogance is a big thing in football. And you have that arrogance to feel like you're the man, you're the guy, make things happen. He's different. He's different. The guy is special. I don't care what anyone tells me. He's a very talented player. It's just that he doesn't have the confidence, and obviously the stuff that he's doing is not working. Because you can have bad games in it, but when you're anonymous and you're not trying to make things happen, it's like you're too afraid to take risks. That's why I have a concern in it. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to get far in football. If you don't believe in yourself, you don't have the confidence, how are you going to get far in football? You're not going to get very far, is it? So, obviously people say it's the league. Physically as well, I've seen him bounce off players. Don't get to I've seen him bounce off players. But I do think it's fair to say that he could get more physicality, especially on the ball. That's what I believe. And yeah, man, that's just my take on the Florian Wirtz's conversation. And I still, my stocks are still invested, because I genuinely believe that he's a very, very good player. It's just that he does have the confidence right now, and he does have the belief, and I need to see that next season. And hopefully he does that. So yeah, man, what's your thoughts on Flo? Why is he lacking confidence? Do you honestly believe that he wasn't as good as what people thought he was? Do you believe that the Premier League is not really for him? Let me know your thoughts, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and until then, I am out. Peace.